Everybody, we're back with another episode of Howie's Hometown Heroes, where we feature business owners, entrepreneurs, and community members who are doing extraordinary things in their town and in their community. Today, we're in Chapin, South Carolina. You know where that is? It's like right in the middle of South Carolina. So I'm told by Darren. And we're here with Darren Kaplan from Total Mortgage. A great guy. I've known him for a long time. Fun guy. Great to hang out with. And just let me give you a little clue about him and how committed he is. Married for 20 years, same person. Anybody can say they're married for 20 years, like 3 times or 4 times. No, one time. That's good. Got a bunch of great kids. And one of the things he likes to do, big into fishing. Now, we also call it, so we call it fishing. It's not called catching, it's called fishing. And that's really almost like the meditative thing. Just goes out there, hangs out, loves being with nature, stuff like that. So you might not recognize when you hear him, you might not detect the South Carolina accent that you might expect. So we're going to hear about how he came from New York and now he's in South Carolina. And you can take the boy out of New York, but you can't take the Yankees out of the boy, right? So that's very cool, Darren. So Darren, thanks for being here today. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Howard, thank you so much for having me. It's always exciting talking to you.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. So tell me some fun fact about you that we don't kind of know.
A fun fact? All right. Well, you already said about fishing, right? But the fact is that I've been here for a little over a year now, and the biggest fish I caught was this big. Yeah, that is the fun fact.
Yeah. Well, very cool. So how'd you get started in the mortgage biz?
Oh man, now it feels like a lifetime ago. So 22 years ago, I was working in a gym selling, memberships. It was it was a higher up type of gym. It was like a racket club, right? And I telemarketed like crazy. This one member, and he said to me, "Hey, Darren, do you see yourself as you get older working in the gym, like 60, 70 years old? Do you see yourself still working in the gym?" And here I am. I'm 19, 20 years old. Yeah. I'm making like 70 grand a year to a 20-year-old back in, 99, 2000.
That's like a fortune. Wow.
Who has no college degree, right? That's a winner for me. And, he goes, "Well, would you have liked to make $10,000 a month?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of almost making that in your eyes, right?" He goes, "Yeah, but when you're 70, you probably won't be able to work the same way as you work today." And it kind of dwelled on me, like thinking about something like that, and here I am. I was with my girlfriend at the time. Now she's my wife. And she went and got the job. She went and took the mortgage job to see kind of like how it was. She didn't quit her old job. She kind of just went in and checked it out.
Part-time,
in a sense.
Yeah.
Now, my wife, she is a little older than me. So here I am at 20 and she's, 27. So it kind of gave her a better speculation. And also she had a son too. So she had a little different of a head on her shoulders than your average 20-year-old, right? 21-year-old.
Right.
So it wasn't for her. She went there.
Interesting.
She said, "You know what? This isn't for me," but they do seem like they are making some money there. They do seem like they're in a positive vibe. So what did I do? I quit my job. I took that job and I didn't make more than $250 a week for the first 6 months.
Whoa. So did you have second thoughts now all of a sudden?
I just think that I was just young. There were no computers. There was a lot of it was manual. And even from like the appraisers putting taping and pasting pictures instead of the digital world that we're in now, and fax machines and things that I'm going to talk about that a lot of people don't know. Right. So, but fast forward a little bit, I stayed in the mortgage business. Things went well, up until, the 2008, 2009 economy crash. Right. And, everybody's got their own, view and point of view of what happened and what went down. But I was in it. And I know that we were lending money to people that couldn't afford it. And that was primarily, I feel, one of the bigger reasons why the crash went down. Now, whatever happened in the background,
sure,
executive banking and that whole bit. That's another scene that happened. But what we went through is we were able to give loans to almost anyone, right? So in 2008, I went from making a ton of money to almost making minimum wage, right?
Yeah.
I have a family support. My wife, I had mentioned that I had a kid, right? So I had been, I'm not saying thrown in, but I was thrown into a situation where now I'm 21 years old with a family,
Yeah.
right? So I know I have to succeed. I had my son in 2005. Had to think about that for a second, but yeah, we had my son in 2005, and then the economy crashed kind of in 2008.
Yep.
And it took me a long time to find myself again, so from like 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, even 15, it was still really dragging on, trying to figure out which direction in life to go in. I was still in the mortgage business. I was still doing mortgages, but it was just a different routine than it is today, right? And then Zillow kind of hit the market, and I just really found myself with Zillow. Like, hey, here's a way I can validate myself away from other people, right? Build up Zillow reviews so that in the future, people could say, oh my God, you have 200 Zillow reviews, which I have today, right? But going after each and every person after they close to get their review is a job, right?
Sure.
So in 2017, I was with a company, and I just saw myself and technology kind of taking a leap ahead. I was looking for a company that they were customer service driven, technology driven, and they can close loans, right? And those things I found with Total Mortgage. I met Thomas Bepko. I fell in love with him. He became my mentor. It was just a whole new scene over at Total Mortgage. So here I am living on Long Island. I wanted to get off Long Island, trying to figure out how to not just leave Long Island in the state, right? But also leave a company that thinks like Long Islanders.
Yeah.
And that's when I found Total Mortgage in Milford, Connecticut, right there. And I drove to Connecticut 2 or 3 days a week from Long Island. I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, got in the car, got to work by
that's a drag going all around it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? It was better than the dinosaur situation that I had before, just sitting there and not really progressing and growing. And then, fast forward, 2017 was my goal. I said, listen, now I'm going to get my family out of New York. How do I do this? And why do I want to leave New York, right? Well, other than the fact that it's really expensive to live, okay? And you can probably get almost 2 to 1 on your money anywhere else in the country.
Yeah.
Not every place, but almost, right? And you just got to want to change, right? So my wife wasn't for it. My kids weren't for it. And then after realizing that, New York isn't the place where my son's going to have all his friends. And, my wife doesn't have a ton of friends, and it's always us as a family doing things. And when we have an event, it's our event usually. And, not that we don't have a little bit of family left in New York or anything, but I think I wanted to change my kids' mentality from that entitlement to actually showing them what there is in the world. There's other things than just going to school, getting a job, and then doing what you don't love. Right? That I didn't just like wake up one day. I was like, hey, I'm going to be a mortgage banker. This is it. So, same thing with you, right?
Howard? Exactly.
The same type of conversation, right?
Yep.
So, I went on Billy Alvaro's talk show in January of 2020, right? So this is pre-COVID. And I talked about getting out. I talked about leaving New York, homeschooling your kids, thinking about a different situation for them mentally, right? And setting yourself up. So if you can't buy a house in New York, because it's too expensive, why continue to work in New York? What's the point?
That's right.
Right? You might as well figure out an alternative, do your roots over, plant your new seeds so that when I'm at a certain age, my whole family's from the area around there. Right? Yeah. And I saw that down south a lot, right? You got your Tennessee, your North Carolina, even Virginia's got it. And those people, those people that live in those areas, they're able to go to school, then graduate school with some type of skill, right? Along with going to college, right? They go to college, they don't go into crazy, stupid student loan debt,
Oh yeah,
right?
that's for sure.
It's manageable and affordable. They come out of college with their degree. And listen, I know a lot of people say college is for suckers, but this is the way to do this,
Well,
okay? You go out, you get your degree in the passion and the love for what you wanted to go to school for originally. So if you want to be a history artist, listen, there's a job for it somewhere here, okay? Not a lot of people are doing that, right? So at the end of the day, you can follow your passion, follow your dream, graduate, get a job, and then be able to afford a house.
There you go.
Right. So,
yeah.
So where in the nation can you afford a home? Let's just say for 200,000, 250,000, right? Where the taxes are under $2,000 a year.
Oh, that's
right?
crazy, right? That's
and your mortgage payments are $1,600.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
No,
but that was my goal, right? So that was like the enthusiastic value that I brought to the table, right? So after that 2008 hit, I tried to soul again. We all hit extreme rock bottom. It was beyond things I can ever teach people, because everything I do today is because of that scenario.
There we go. Yeah.
Literally. So I don't go out and I don't make a really fast decision on something. I mean, listen, Walmart and Target and the local shops, Amazon, even that's different shopping for me. But really taking out a loan, or do I need that? Or is it a boat loan I need? Or is it a car loan I need? But no, I don't. So I'll get into that though. So I finally convinced my whole family that this is the best move for all of us. We all need a fresh start. I've been working in the mortgage industry over 20 years. I don't have a lot to show for it, but my family, right?
That's a pretty big accomplishment right there. Really.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you. So at 40 years old, I'm 42 now, but at 40, it was ready. It was time. It was just, this is our moment. And then I told you I did the Billy Alvaro show. And then right after that, COVID hit. So here I am talking about homeschooling your kids, getting out, leaving, and then
everything shuts down.
We literally got shut down again, right? So we thought this was the end again, right? So here I am working from my dining room table at this point. I don't have enough rooms in my house. And my whole family just got back from a trip from South Carolina, looking at homes, looking at areas, trying to figure out where we want to live. Now, we knew we didn't want to live on the actual coast itself. A lot of people like the waterfront.
Yeah.
We weren't interested in that. We wanted to be away from the water. So we were looking midland a little bit, inland a little bit. Like from, if you know Orlando's in the middle
of Florida.
Right?
Yeah.
It's actually the highest point of Florida, north, right? So we kind of just like grooved in and out. And then we found the lake. We found Lake Murray. And we're like, oh my God, look, there's a lake in South Carolina. It's humongous. It's like 3 counties wide. Right. So we just started to kind of look around it, and we found really good schools. And what I mean by really good schools is the grading system that they use online, right? You got 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, right? And I'm not saying it's 100% accurate, but it's somewhat accurate. It gives you good vitals. It tells you a lot of the things that you need to know, right? And then we compared it to the school that my kids were going to, which was Harborfield, which is an amazing school on Long Island. It's a great school district, right? So we found in Chapin, next to Chapin, there's Lexington and Irmo, and near Columbia, but we found Chapin, and Chapin had 9, 10 schools. So
pretty big town.
We just started to look. Yeah, and we just started to look, and then COVID hit, and I said to my wife, if we don't make a decision like now, we probably won't make that decision until my son graduates.
Right.
And then we're going to leave after, even though we have my young daughter, but she'll always make that change. Right. So we found a house. Nice. Thank God, knock on wood, big enough where, I would have my own space.
Yeah.
Everybody else has their own space. My son, he clicked right into the school with cross country and track.
Ah,
My
nice.
daughter, she clicked into her school. Yes, we're always going to be from New York here. There's no doubt about it. But the hospitality that we received here was way further and way greater
Wow, that's
than what
awesome.
I received in Long Island
Really.
ever
Yeah.
from anyone. Okay, so whether it was my next door neighbor that I never even knew. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that was just kind of the timeline from how it all started all the way to how I got
How
to
we got
South
there, and then you've
Carolina.
been. That's a.
Yeah,
I mean, that is an incredible journey, and also an inspiring story that you stuck with it long enough. You didn't just say,
yeah.
"Nah, this mortgage stuff's not working out." I got to
You know
find
what? I
something
really
else.
did
But
try to find myself, Howard, and other
yeah.
things. I saw the solar panel and
Oh
construction
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
and this I just those things just weren't for me.
yeah,
And people might say, well, why banking, right? And I really do help people. Like not everybody's got 20% down, perfect credit, and great income.
yeah. And those
It's
are the
just
right, right, and those are and right. It's the people who really need the help is where you got all that experience that you can,
right,
and you've gone through some of that yourself
right.
too, so you can really
Absolutely.
really relate. So that's really a great story. Do you have any other like uh current like success stories of people you've helped out and how they're doing now?
Most of our stories are on the lower credit side, people that maybe just barely qualify, and I don't mean afford. That's a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Qualifying and affording are two
Okay,
totally
two
different
different
things.
things. Exactly right.
You may have somebody who is self-employed and they can afford anything, but qualifying wise,
That's right.
they just don't have it
Have
on
it.
the book. So those are a lot of the amazing people that we help,
Hmm.
especially in our community here, like Chapin.
Oh,
A
okay.
lot of the business owners, they've come to me and they've talked to me. So that's one thing that we've been helping with.
Nice,
But
nice.
but success wise, those are them. And then the lower credit score people, like if you have lower credit score and you're trying to qualify for a higher price mortgage, we will help you qualify for more. It doesn't always happen, but it tends to trend to a better approach.
Okay.
And my team is amazing. We're here all the time, almost 24/7. I don't want to say 24/7, but almost 24/7, right? We do sleep. We have to sleep sometime, but it's a passion.
Yeah.
And when you look at something and you look back at 22 years, and I tell you I didn't make money for the first 6 months. You know why? Because that's all I looked for, the money.
Yeah.
And then I just I became better at it. I started to make a few dollars where I can show the people that were most important in my life that this was a career, right? And then at that point, it kind of took off. I understood it. I was top earner one
Oh,
month.
awesome.
I got my computer because I was top earner, and then that Monday, somebody broke into the office and stole my
Oh my
computer.
God.
Go figure, right?
Go ahead.
But they ended up getting me another computer. But once the computer actually came out and I was able to manage myself and organize myself through my computer a little bit
Hmm.
better, that's when the mortgage industry really accelerated for me.
Oh,
And people like to talk about their accolades and what they have.
well,
And 2008 was a real crusher for me. I thought wearing a three-piece suit and the most expensive shoes and a Rolex meant who you were. Oh, and the nicest car, right?
yeah,
I thought that's where it was going. But over time and as you get older, you realize, shit, I just want less of
of
that.
that.
I don't want more bills. I don't want more of this. So
That's right. That's,
I had a $3 million bankruptcy, Chapter 7, in 2014.
mm,
And that was really the spiral mess from just being young and buying things that you can't afford, like that I thought I could, all the way up until like losing like literally owning too many homes that I thought were going to be either good investments or rental investments, right? To cars and boats that I just didn't need. So, my lifestyle today, I don't want to say is mentally different, but I'm the same person. Like I still wear my Yankee hats and my Yankee shirts like I was when I was 13 and 14 years old, right? But I just don't need the same things.
well,
Like I drive a 99 Silverado right now. I just I think that having less is better, but having more time with my family and less
well,
worries
Yeah, that's right. There you go. It's really the values have changed. What you
Totally.
right. So that's kind of where it's coming from. And I could give you a lot of credit for making that move. I mean, I don't know how many people would actually pick up your whole family. First of all, convince your family this was a good idea. I mean, that's a challenge in itself, right?
For sure.
And then picking up and moving and getting them on board, and now they're into it. That's really good. And only a
You
year
know,
later, right? So,
most people that we speak to, they have a tie down. And the system's tied you down for a
yeah,
reason.
for
They
sure.
put you into public school, right? And they teach you what
Mhm.
you need to know.
Mhm.
Not what's really out there, but what you need to
Need to
know.
know.
So now when you're 18 years old, you're 17, you graduate high school, and you think in your mind that this is the best move for you. What no one listens to their parents, right? So that's something you have to find for yourself. But I was fortunate enough to really always hang out with older kids. So when I was 15 and 16, I was playing baseball with the collegiates. When I was
Oh,
13 and 14, I was playing baseball with the 15 and the 16-year-olds. Along with my age, but
there were other people.
I
Yeah,
had
yeah,
that like tunnel vision already of what is laid out for you if you do it this way,
yeah.
right? And I was a pretty good kid. I don't think I was a scholar, but I was a good kid to other people. I wasn't a bully material or anything like that. But at the same time, I don't think the teachers really cared about me. And not that they didn't have their own life to live. They had like the expenses and the worries and all
It
those
was their
crazy
job. That's
things
right.
that on a daily basis, their kids, right? Can you imagine them worrying about me? And I just knew right away, with my father being a single parent, like I'm in this. Like I have to, if I don't do this now, in 20 years, forget about the 70 years that he said, but
Yeah, yeah,
when I'm
yeah.
45, I'm gonna just be figuring out what I'm gonna do. So
Sure.
I'm fortunate enough now to be 42 years old, 43 in August, right? Been doing this for 23 years, been married to, I want to say, my soulmate for 20 plus years, right?
That's great.
And I can kind of see what those next steps are. And by moving to South Carolina, I don't know 100% for a fact I will not shovel snow at 70.
There you go. There's a goal everybody should have, right? Exactly. Very cool. Very
Right?
cool. That's right.
So like having those tie downs, from public school, they teach you what to do. They send you off to college. You think you want to be a vet, but you can't get a vet job that
Somebody.
pays your bills, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So it just kind of opens up
yeah.
what I call the nonsense rule. Like, you don't need your college degree now. No, but you know what? When I'm 70, I'm gonna wish I had my college degree.
Degree. Even if you're not doing the same thing that you graduated from, at least you got that experience of going
I
through
agree.
the college experience, which is really valuable. And for sure, for sure.
So where's your college degree from, Howard?
Temple University.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
Nice. That's
I had a
real
great
nice.
time, learned a lot of stuff. I have a degree, not to make it about me. I mean, I have a degree in computer science. I had a couple
Yeah.
of computer jobs and I said, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't do,
Yeah, I got
so I
you.
switched. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you have that financial freedom to make that decision.
Yeah.
For me, I really couldn't make a whole lot of changes because I had a family already.
Mhm.
At 21, my
Yeah. So
stepson
I
was
didn't have,
11, and with my wife, we were together trying to build that family already. Where my friends were all hanging out at doing their thing, their single life.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's definitely a different mindset and
Cool.
where I'm at.
So now you've been there a year, right? You've been
It's officially a year.
officially a year. So good job doing that. Now, where do you see yourself in the next 3, 5, 10 years?
Amazing question, because we've been trying to figure that out, right? So my son will be a senior next year. My daughter will be in fourth grade. I know I still have a good 8 to 10 years of figuring that what I want to do when I grow up.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
said.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. I love baseball cards. I love fishing. Those two things go real well here in South Carolina. There's a ton of baseball card places here.
Really? Go figure.
Yeah,
Okay.
baseball card and Pokemon and that whole good
Okay.
spot for all that. Yeah. And I really love that. I've done that my whole life. I still buy some cards here and there. But
Interesting. Here you go.
I can see myself, hanging out and doing something like that. I mean, I would never quit the whole mortgage side of things. I'm too valuable at what I do, really, and
Well, and you're having a good time doing it too. I
yeah,
mean,
no doubt about it, for sure.
so
I work with awesome people, man. I
yeah,
love them every day. We have
yeah.
an enormous amount of fun. I get to see their kids grow up on the screen.
Oh, there you
You
go.
know,
Nice.
we've given each other that real comfortability. Like my buddy, my dog Einstein's right here with me. I never had that. In my 20s and my 30s, I grew up in an office building. That's what I did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what it
Because that was
was.
what it was. That's what it was.
So you asked me 8 to 10 years, right? I'm hoping I've met a lot of people here. They're all really awesome that I can put together a nice fishing team. My kids graduate high school. They both go to USC or even Clemson, which is really local here,
Yeah, sure.
right? It's an affordable college. All right, they'll graduate, I'm hoping, as teachers, and they'll be teaching the new kids, the new
The new
generation, and that's it's a real funny journey, but at the same time, this place has really brought the best out of all of us.
That's nice.
And when I say this place, we've traveled up and down South Carolina, and it just seems like the whole state's very similar.
Nice.
Where in New York, people from like the north, like really up north, they're different from Long
Well,
Island.
that's for sure.
And even the people that live in the boroughs, when they migrate to Long Island, they find
They
it
think
real
that's
different.
That's
Yeah,
right. They think that may as well be South Carolina to them. It's a
exactly.
total different world.
But word of the wise, Howard, 8 to 10 years, I see myself sort of doing the same thing, but really
Okay.
being more involved in my kid's life.
Nice.
Where I was, and I get to take my daughter off the bus now.
Yeah.
I never was able to do that unless I ran home from work really quick, saw her, said hello, grabbed something to eat, put it back
to work.
Back to work. Right.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah, just things I think are just a little different now. Did
Nice.
COVID have anything to do with that? I think we were on that path anyway.
Anyway,
man.
exactly.
Yeah,
Sure.
we were. That was our game plan. But seeing my kids really grow up and succeed, man, is
That's important. Really.
for sure. And hopefully catch a fish bigger than this.
But if not, that's okay too. That's okay too. So this has been a great story. I'm glad we could have a little
Very
chat
cool.
here. Yeah, I didn't know a whole bunch of those kind of things. So this is always a lot of fun. So everybody
Very
out
cool,
there,
man.
if you know someone who's doing extraordinary things in your community, moving, I won't say across the country, but certainly moving out of their environment into something new or whatever their story happens to be, they put their name in the contact me, put their name in the comments or something like that, and we'll get them on the show. So
Below, right there.
right up, yeah, right. Everybody says below,
right there.
right there. And
sure.
So the idea is just so if whether it's your family, your business, or your organization, remember it's money that makes the gears turn and keeps everything moving. So make sure your money is moving in the optimal way it can. So thanks, Darren, for being here. See you all next time.
What? I really appreciate it, Howard. Thank you, man.
See you soon.